I'm back, and well, time to continue with the characters in this game. Well, on term is the S rank Liv. Personally, my favorite fucking character in this game, and personally, I think she might even be one of the best looking characters in this game for multiple reasons. But I guess that shit is mostly objective. Like it depends from person to person. I personally like characters like these. She is double S rank. She is kinda maxed out. She is pure physical. She is S class, and well, she is a support class. Mostly a medic, if you can call it a medic, but mostly a support class that is there to replenish your HP. But don't get fooled by that plus sign over there. She can actually deal some really nasty damage, and well, these are just some of the builds. I'm using the first build. In this particular video, I'll be using the first build, the one that you see right here. And well, I must say, she is kind of maxed out. She does work really well. And well, like I said, she can be a support and a DPS. Pretty much depends on your needs. In my case, in this particular video, I'll be using her as a solely as a support. And well, the recommended lineups are these. Now, of course, you can use this character for pretty much any lineup you want. You're not limited to what you see on screen. You pretty much can experiment. You pretty much can set any lineup you like. Since in this game creativity is on the maximum. Here you can see her HP, defense, damage, critical, and so on. She is level 68, still progressing towards level 80. She has quite a nice amount of HP. She is also on the way to being maxed out. She is double S rank. Well, this particular character so far is the double S rank because I got kinda lucky with this character. And well, we reached with the orbs. Now the red one, when you combine 1, 2, or 3 red orbs, you will do respective damage, as you can see on the bottom there. It's a area of effect damage, pretty much a explosion type attack. Her primary attack though is the yellow one. Yellow one will buff the drone guns that she has, and well, she will do the respective damage according to the amount of balls you match. And the blue one is pretty much mostly supportive. It does give buffs, physical damage buffs and healing buffs, and it can trigger some healing effects with the proper gear. These are just some of her skills. The first one is the basic attack, second ones are the passive buffs, and well, so on and so forth. Again, all of these buffs give a good amount of physical damage and give a good amount of healing. Since this character is primarily a support character, but I like to use her as a support and as a DPS. She can fit both roles pretty well, as you will see in this particular video. And well, even better, in the next one I'll be focusing this character most on the DPS side, but in this case she's kinda a hybrid, more of a support. And I must say, so far I'm really happy with this character. Like pretty much when I started to play the free S rank was this character, mostly because I like her design, and mostly because she's just so effective and so should I say easy to play. And well, it's always useful to have a support on your team, since in this game she has some really good uses. For example, when you're playing the Abyss challenge in this game, she is really useful because she can heal herself really effectively. Like your HP there won't budge unless you get hit, of course. And other characters, you will notice their HP to go down really quickly. For example, you could see that in my previous video regarding the Alpha. And well, pretty much the Karen also gets affected. Pretty much every other character, non-medic character, gets affected by the bleed really quickly, really fast. You can see their HP drop really quickly. But this character is unique in that perspective. She heals herself like constantly, and her buffs are actually really nice and well balanced DPS in this case that I currently have. So of course now I'll be showing how her attacks work in the first segment, since that will be interesting to see. She has one of her main combos when you combine the blue balls and the yellow balls. That way she will stun the enemy at a certain spot, buff her damage, and pretty much heal your allies at the same time. Pretty much what you see over here. And well, you will see what I mean when I start to test this out. So you need to match the blue one and then the yellow one, and then you tap on the weapon on the attack button, and that way she will. But that's pretty much one of her combos. Like that way you maximize the damage output by this character. And of course, if you match like 3 blue balls and 3 yellow balls, that's pretty much the maximum possible effect that you should go for. And well, here you can see the attacks going left and right. Now I'm just matching to get yellow and blue at the same time, and this is how it usually looks when you match blue and orange, or should I say yellow, but let's call it yellow. It's not orange. It's not orange. Alright. And well, pretty easy to play. Now you have multiple characters. Now you have multiple of these attacks. The first one, the one that you should remember, is the blue plus yellow. That's pretty much her main attack. But you can see her on the right side, or not on the right, on the left side. You can see the game recommending to use yellow and the attack button. Well, that's pretty much when you use her drones to do damage. That's one of her main ways to deal damage. Now, of course, it depends from your playstyle, but in my case, I like to use this character as a semi-DPS, because in most cases she does the job really well. Now, when you're playing a bit more serious, when you're up at high ranks, for example, then you kind of want to make her a support specific. But lower ranks, it will work as a semi-DPS, semi-support. Now, I must say though, I will not lie, even as a fully fledged support, or a semi-fledged support in my case, she still does some really nasty damage to the enemies. And I personally think this character is, in that perspective, is really unique. And well, now those were pretty much, you can see all the possible match. But now this is the ultimate. Her ultimate is actually really musical. I pretty much get vibes from some old school anime series because of her ultimate, and overall the music is just on. It's just really well made, and pretty much the music and overall art style and overall how the mechanics work with this character all give me some weird nostalgic feel. I don't know from which anime or from which manga, but it definitely gives me those nostalgic vibes. Also, that's I guess a good thing, since it makes the game kind of more unique and more enjoyable in a way. Well, let's see how she will work at the stages. Now, Alpha is ridiculously overpowered, and she is primarily a DPS character. Now, this character as a support character still does quite the amount of damage. As we can see, even though the gear, pretty much not the weapon but the ghosts and consciousnesses are pretty much support based, and well, she still cleared this particular part really well, should I say really quickly, compared to a DPS one. For example, Alpha in the previous video pretty much dumpstered the enemies in like a couple seconds, and well, you can pretty much clearly see the difference between a fully fledged support and a fully fledged DPS. Of course, it will be interesting to gear out this particular character for a fully fledged DPS, since I did that previously, like with 5-star stigmas, and of course, just to say something real quick, this was ridiculously fast. Even when you have like support gear and when you focus this character as a medic, she still can surprise you with sudden like crazy damage from all her buffs and from her skills. So don't be surprised if stuff like that happens. It's pretty much normal with this character, since she does deal quite the amount of damage at certain times, and well, it happens that she did surprise me in the last match she like finished those enemies in one hit. Now, of course, you can match the balls pretty much. You can match like 3 blue, and then 3 red. That would be maximized area of effect damage. And well, you can maximize also blue plus yellow to deal maximum, I guess, railgun area damage. Pretty much, it depends on your need. You can pretty much match however you like, however you feel like, or it depends on the situation. Like sometimes you need like to target a specific enemy, sometimes you need to target multiple enemies. It all depends on the situation. Now, of course, I will work to get this character on the triple S rank, since gotta pleasure the waifu, right? Don't get me wrong. And it will be interesting to see how she will also perform at a triple S rank. Now, the difference between S and double S, it's not much. It's noticeable, I'll say that, but it's not much till it's like, game breaking, game changing or something like that. And alright, well, that was kinda smooth, really smooth. Went good, pretty much as I have expected it to be. And alright, well, let's see. Well, on to the challenge. Now here you will see the bleed kicking in, and that will be interesting to see how she will tank in a way. Her HP doesn't budge. It's pretty much stable. Unlike other characters that don't have healing abilities, because one particular I pretty much find this character really useful in the first 2 stages that you have here, since here you have the bleed effect. Now it depends, if you get sick, you will pretty much die in any case, in any shape or form. But as a support character, now I'm just looking at the bleed, and for some reason it's not existent. Must be because she is buffing the allies. She can do that as well. She has also a passive healing buff. I don't know if I mentioned it, but she does have that. I think unlocked at the double S rank. So that's one thing to get on, I guess, on the double S rank. Also, should I mention, not all of these other stages have bleed, should I call it like that? Sometimes, like for example, this particular map is pretty much easy. Just the enemies are kinda tanky, but in most cases you will have bleed. And I think I will be also running the second map. I mean, literally the second map that was on top, since I pretty much do play both of these challenge stages per character, or should I say per structure. And holy shit, that map, that forest map, is actually really beautiful. Oh man, and you might already notice that I have one of the outfits that are unlockable. I am on the way to obtain the last outfit and the band, since I want this character maxed out. And also one important thing that I literally forgot. And here you can actually see the bleed. But besides the bleed, when you increase the affection level with the structure, you actually increase their damage output, and that's literally noticeable. Not only damage, but you actually increase the overall CP value of them. For example, you can definitely compare Alpha and this character. This character has like 300 to 400 more CP compared to Alpha, just because I have her affection maxed out, and she does deal a lot more damage with higher affection. So that's also one really important thing to note. Increasing the affection with the structures actually has an impact on the game. So make sure to make the waifus happy, and they will probably make you happy in challenges and overall damage wise. At least that's something, alright. And right, that went pretty smoothly. Here we had bleed. She is definitely really effective at dealing with the bleed effect, since she can heal herself and can heal her allies. One really important feature of this character. And well, alright, on to the final map. Now the first 2 maps, just on a side note, are like forest maps. They look really good, like really nice. The last one, you'll be surprised. I don't know, maybe I already showed the map, maybe not, but the change of scenery here, when I first saw the map, I was really surprised. I did not expect such a variety of maps. And just look at this. We went from like really amazingly green color to moonlight grayish. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind this one bit. This actually looks also really amazing. The graphics in this game dominate. Like I did not see an anime RPG game on mobile to have better graphics than this. This is like next generation graphics, literally. And also it runs pretty smooth, even though I don't know if it's noticeable, but the game does run really smooth. It depends pretty much on the mood of my phone. It's literally like this one has a soul in it. Like, I don't know. Sometimes like this phone gets kinda grumpy. I feel like it gets kinda grumpy, and that's kinda hilarious. And sad at the same time, but alright, I can forgive him. It pushes the game at really high resolution on 60, so I'm happy. Alright, well, dumpster this little red. Now the third stage doesn't have any bleed. That's, I guess, a good thing and a bad thing. Well, not a bad thing, that's actually a really good thing since we don't have bleed. And also one important thing, her buffs with the current ghosts and consciousness that I have on the ass sleeve actually gets transferred to the character that's on field. That's also something that I find really amazing, really awesome, that they put in, since that pretty much gives us another use for this character as a passively active support, if that makes sense, but he can do that, kind of. I think it's gear specific, since pretty much the current gear that I have allows you to do that. Oh, and I just noticed, I did not include the second map. Oh well, that's alright. Still a good showcase of what she can perform and what she can do. Alright, well, that was for the third map. Definitely, I could have played it a lot better, I'll be honest. I could have played this a lot better, but I was focused on delivering a live gameplay, not other structures. And alright, well, this was it for the S rank 5 over here. Definitely a character that you should already have, or should at least go for. Really effective, really an amazing support, and also she can be an amazing DPS if you build her like a DPS. Pretty much really flexible, both ways kinda work, and overall a really solid all-around character for pretty much most stuff in this game. Hopefully this was helpful. I will continue to produce more builds, and I will continue to do this type of tests for all structures in this game. And with that being said, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Take care.